When a woman only shows up in your life when she needs something, it's a clear signal that she sees you, more as a convenience than as a partner or equal. This isn't about being overly suspicious or cynical. It's about observing patterns of behavior and understanding the subtle ways people can take advantage of your generosity, time, and energy. One of the most common excuses she will use is, "I'm busy." On the surface, it sounds reasonable. Everyone has responsibilities, work commitments, personal matters, and obligations that take priority. But the reality is that when someone truly values and respects you, they make time for you regardless of how busy they are. If a woman consistently vanishes for days or weeks but suddenly reappears the moment she wants something, it's not a coincidence. It's a pattern, and patterns don't lie. Being busy is different from being selective with your time. People who care prioritize. They rearrange schedules, make small efforts, and check in consistently. When she only reaches out when she needs a favor, money, or emotional support, it's a subtle form of exploitation disguised as normal interaction. The danger here is that it often doesn't start with big demands. It begins with small, seemingly harmless requests. You might lend a hand once, give some advice, or offer a little support, and each time she assesses how far she can push before you start saying no. Gradually, your energy, your attention, and even your financial resources become a tool she can access at her convenience. The emotional impact of this kind of manipulation is significant. It creates a sense of confusion and self-doubt. You start wondering why she doesn't prioritize you the same way you prioritize her. You begin questioning yourself, thinking maybe you're too demanding, too sensitive, or not doing enough. The truth is that her actions reflect her priorities, not your worth. She chooses convenience over connection, and in doing so, she reveals how she truly values your presence in her life. Recognizing this pattern requires self-awareness and honesty. You have to stop rationalizing her behavior or making excuses for her inconsistency. Excuses like, "she's just stressed," or "she really does care, she's just busy," can cloud your judgment and keep you trapped in a cycle of being used. Instead, focus on consistency. Observe whether she reaches out to you when she doesn't need something. Notice if she makes an effort to reciprocate or if the relationship feels one-sided. These observations are crucial for understanding her true intentions. Ultimately, when a woman only shows up for what she can take, it's not about being unkind or intentionally cruel. It's about her choice of priorities. She prioritizes her convenience, her needs, and her comfort over your feelings, your time, and your energy. Recognizing this early is key to protecting yourself. By understanding that being busy can sometimes be a mask for manipulation, you can set boundaries, protect your value, and ensure that your energy is invested in people who genuinely care for you and respect your time. Flattery is one of the most subtle and powerful tools in human interaction. And when a woman is using you, it becomes a strategic weapon rather than a genuine compliment. Phrases like, "you're different from other guys," or "you're so supportive," are carefully crafted to appeal to your ego, to make you feel special, and to lower your guard. On the surface, these words feel heartwarming and affirming. Who doesn't like to be appreciated or told that they are unique? But when such flattery is paired with repeated requests for favors, time, or attention, it becomes clear that the praise is not about valuing you. It's about keeping you giving. The danger of this kind of manipulation is that it preys on your emotional vulnerabilities. People naturally want to feel seen, valued, and needed. When a woman emphasizes how exceptional you are, she taps directly into that desire. Suddenly, you feel obligated to maintain the image she has created for you. You start thinking, "she believes in me, she appreciates me. I must continue to be this person for her." This can lead you to give more than you normally would. More time, more energy, more resources. without realizing that it's not being reciprocated. She isn't complimenting you to make you happy. She's complimenting you to create a psychological dependency. Flattery in this context also serves to obscure reality. When someone uses words of praise to make you feel extraordinary, it becomes easier to dismiss red flags. Maybe she cancels plans last minute, ignores your messages, or only reaches out when she needs something. The compliments act like a fog, making it difficult to see her behavior clearly. Your mind clings to the positive reinforcement, those sweet words, while minimizing or rationalizing the negative actions. This is how manipulation becomes effective. It creates a cycle where emotional highs from praise are followed by demands or exploitation. Another subtle aspect is how flattery builds loyalty without commitment. By telling you that you are different, special, or the only one who truly understands her, she encourages you to invest more of yourself emotionally. You become attached not to her actions, but to the idea of her appreciation and acknowledgement. This attachment makes it harder to set boundaries because you feel that your efforts are being valued, just not in the ways you deserve. She doesn't have to offer genuine respect, love, or reciprocity. She only needs to maintain the illusion of admiration. Recognizing this manipulation requires careful observation. Pay attention not just to what she says, but to what she does. Are her compliments followed by actions that respect your time, energy, and boundaries? Or do they always serve as a prelude to a request, favor, or expectation? True appreciation is consistent and balanced. It doesn't require you to sacrifice your own needs. Ultimately, when flattery becomes a tool for exploitation, it loses its warmth and sincerity. Words like, you're amazing or you're so supportive are no longer about recognizing your value, they're about extracting it. Understanding this dynamic allows you to protect yourself. You can enjoy compliments without letting them dictate your actions, maintain your boundaries, and ensure that your energy is invested in relationships where admiration and respect are genuine, mutual, and not a means to manipulate you. Avoiding commitment while still reaping benefits is one of the most common tactics used by someone who is using you. When a woman says, I'm just not ready for a relationship, it might sound like she's being honest, and in some cases, she might be. But when this statement is paired with consistent access to your time, energy, and resources, it becomes a strategic line designed to keep you available without reciprocating your investment. The key here is to understand the difference between a genuine need for space and an ongoing pattern of taking advantage. A person who is truly not ready for a relationship respects your boundaries, communicates clearly, and does not rely on you for emotional or material support while remaining unattached. In contrast, a woman who is using you will continue to benefit from everything you offer while keeping herself free of any real responsibility. This type of behavior often starts subtly. At first, she may emphasize that she wants to stay casual or isn't looking for a long-term commitment. Many men hear this and think it's a temporary situation, assuming that with time and patience, things will change. But the reality is that someone who truly values you will show consistent effort. Even in a casual context, they will seek a balance between their needs and yours, ensuring that the relationship is mutually beneficial. When you notice that she only contacts you when she wants something, advice, emotional support, money, or attention, it's a sign that her priority is not your connection, but her convenience. Another characteristic of this pattern is emotional exploitation. A woman who avoids commitment often uses vulnerability and charm to keep you engaged. She may share personal stories or insecurities, not to build a deep connection, but to create a sense of intimacy that makes you feel obligated to care, to help, and to give. You begin to think you are indispensable, that your support is making a difference. when in reality, she is carefully managing your attachment to ensure you remain available whenever she needs something. Your feelings, time, and effort are being harvested while she maintains her freedom to make choices that serve only her interests. Financial and practical benefits are also common. Someone who is avoiding commitment may expect you to pay for outings, cover expenses, or assist in tasks that benefit her, all while giving little in return. She may promise that things will even out later, but those promises are rarely fulfilled. This ensures that you continue to invest in her life without gaining any security or acknowledgement that your investment is valued. Recognizing this behavior requires paying attention to patterns rather than words. A person who values you will naturally integrate you into her life in a balanced way. Someone who is using you will consistently take more than she gives, all while keeping you emotionally invested with the illusion of closeness. Understanding this distinction is critical because it allows you to step back, evaluate your own needs, and protect your time and energy. Being aware of these patterns ensures that you don't get trapped in a cycle where your care and resources are constantly exploited while she remains free of any real accountability. Ultimately, avoiding commitment while still benefiting from your support is a deliberate strategy. It's a way to have all the advantages of a partner without any of the responsibilities. Recognizing it, acknowledging it, and setting boundaries is the only way to protect yourself from being used and to ensure your emotional and practical contributions are reserved for someone who truly values and respects you. Being kept in the friend zone while simultaneously being used is one of the most emotionally confusing experiences a man can face. When a woman calls you a good friend but relies on you for emotional support, favors, or financial help, it creates a dynamic where your care and attention are extracted without any real reciprocity. At first, it may feel flattering. After all, she confides in you, seeks your advice, and shows that she trusts you. But over time, this arrangement can reveal its true nature. She values the benefits you provide more than she values you as a person or potential partner. The problem is that this type of manipulation is subtle and often disguised as genuine friendship, making it difficult to recognize until you feel emotionally drained. One of the key signs of this behavior is inconsistency. She may turn to you when she needs something specific, whether it's emotional reassurance after a bad day, assistance with a problem, or financial help, but disappears when you need support in return. This selective engagement ensures that you remain invested in her life, yet she never truly invests in yours. The balance of effort is skewed, with you giving consistently and receiving little, if anything, back. Over time, this can create resentment and a sense of being taken for granted, even though you initially believed your support was being appreciated. Emotional exploitation is central to this dynamic. By positioning herself as a vulnerable friend, she taps into your natural desire to help and nurture. Men often take pride in being reliable, empathetic, and supportive. But when these traits are exploited, they become tools for manipulation rather than expressions of genuine care. You may find yourself constantly checking in, offering advice, or providing comfort, all while she maintains a boundary that prevents any romantic or equitable connection. This keeps you in a state of availability, always ready to give more, and often questioning why the relationship feels one-sided. Another aspect of being used while in the friend zone is the illusion of intimacy. By sharing personal stories, fears, or struggles, she creates a sense of closeness that makes you feel essential in her life. This illusion keeps you emotionally invested as you believe your presence matters deeply. In reality, this intimacy is a strategic tool to ensure you continue providing support without demanding anything in return. Your loyalty and empathy are being leveraged to serve her needs rather than fostering a mutually respectful friendship or partnership. Recognizing this pattern requires self awareness and honesty. Observe whether your support is acknowledged and reciprocated. Ask yourself if you feel valued and appreciated, or if your contributions are taken for granted. True friendship involves mutual respect, balanced effort, and genuine care for one another's well being. If you consistently feel used, emotionally drained, or unappreciated, it's a clear signal that this dynamic is not healthy. Ultimately, being used while kept in the friend zone is about power and control. She maintains your emotional investment, keeps you available, and extracts benefits, all while avoiding any responsibility or commitment to you. Setting boundaries, recognizing your value, and understanding the difference between genuine friendship and manipulation are essential steps to protect your heart and your energy. By doing so, you ensure that your empathy and support are reserved for relationships where they are truly valued and reciprocated. Financial manipulation and empty promises are among the most common ways a woman can use a man without him realizing it immediately. When she says things like, "I'll pay you back," or "Don't worry about it, you don't have to," it often sounds harmless or even generous. At first, it may feel like a simple misunderstanding or a casual arrangement, but over time, patterns emerge that reveal the truth. These promises are rarely intended to be fulfilled. Financial manipulation is subtle because it leverages trust and your willingness to help, making you feel responsible or obligated to provide without expecting anything in return. One of the main reasons this tactic is effective is that it appeals to your sense of honor and integrity. Most men want to help, to support, and to be reliable when someone asks for assistance. When a woman frames a financial request as temporary or promises repayment, it taps into your desire to be responsible and trustworthy. You begin to think, "She'll pay me back, so it's okay to help now." Or, "I want to be a good person and support her." However, repeated patterns of delayed repayment, forgotten promises, or excuses showed that these assurances were never genuine. They were simply a way to ensure you continue providing without complaint. The impact of this kind of manipulation goes beyond money. It affects your self esteem, your sense of control, and your perception of fairness in the relationship. You may begin to feel frustrated, resentful, or even foolish for trusting her, yet you continue helping because of emotional investment, guilt, or hope that things will change. She may even use flattery or emotional appeals to reinforce the idea that you're a good guy for supporting her, subtly reinforcing the pattern. The combination of praise and unfulfilled promises creates a cycle where you keep giving while she continues to take, making it harder to break free. Another layer of this manipulation is that it often extends beyond direct financial requests. It can include favors, resources, or using your time and energy for her benefit without reciprocation. By framing her needs as minor or temporary, she keeps you engaged, making it seem like you're helping out of generosity rather than being taken advantage of. The line between being kind and being exploited becomes blurred, leaving you vulnerable to repeated use without realizing the imbalance until it has accumulated over time. Recognizing this behavior requires paying attention to consistency between words and actions. Someone who respects you will follow through on commitments and demonstrate reliability. Empty promises, repeated excuses, and a pattern of taking without giving back are clear indicators that the relationship is one-sided. It's important to evaluate whether your support is truly valued or merely extracted. Ultimately, financial manipulation is a tool used to control and exploit. It's not about occasional forgetfulness or genuine hardship. It's about creating dependency and using your trust and generosity as a resource. Understanding this dynamic allows you to set boundaries, protect your financial and emotional well being, and ensure that your support is given to people who respect and reciprocate your efforts. Being aware of empty promises and recognizing patterns of manipulation is key to preventing yourself from being used and maintaining your self respect. Emotional baiting and guilt tripping are some of the most powerful psychological tools a woman can use when she is taking advantage of you. Phrases like, "You understand me better than anyone," or "I didn't ask you to do anything for me," are carefully crafted to keep you emotionally invested while subtly shifting the responsibility of her well being onto your shoulders. At first, these statements may feel flattering or reassuring, making you believe that your support and attention are appreciated. But in reality, they are designed to make you feel obligated, to keep you giving, and to prevent you from questioning the imbalance in the relationship. When a woman tells you, "You understand me better than anyone," it creates a sense of intimacy that can be addictive. You begin to feel that you have a special role in her life that no one else can fill. This emotional connection becomes a form of leverage. The more you feel needed, the more likely you are to comply with her requests, whether emotional, physical, or financial. She doesn't have to demand anything overtly. The implied expectation is enough. You continue to invest because you want to maintain that sense of closeness and uniqueness, even if it comes at the cost of your own needs or boundaries. Similarly, the statement, "I didn't ask you to do anything," is a subtle form of guilt tripping. It frames your efforts as voluntary, making you question whether you should even feel frustrated or taken advantage of. By emphasizing that you weren't obligated, she shifts the responsibility of your feelings onto you. If you feel drained, resentful, or manipulated, it's easy to internalize that discomfort as your own fault rather than recognizing the pattern of exploitation. This keeps you trapped in a cycle of giving without receiving, making it difficult to set boundaries or assert your needs. The combination of emotional baiting and guilt tripping creates a powerful dynamic because it plays on your empathy, pride, and desire to help. Men who are naturally supportive, protective, or nurturing are particularly susceptible to this tactic. The manipulation is rarely overt, it is subtle, consistent, and emotionally persuasive. Over time, you may notice that your emotional energy is being drained, yet you feel compelled to continue giving because the relationship has been framed in such a way that your efforts seem essential or irreplaceable. Recognizing this behavior requires careful observation of patterns rather than isolated incidents. Ask yourself whether your emotional investment is balanced, whether your efforts are appreciated, and whether you feel pressured to give more than you receive. Emotional manipulation often disguises itself as intimacy, but genuine connection is reciprocal. It does not make you feel guilty, drained, or exploited. Ultimately, emotional baiting and guilt tripping are tools used to control your actions and maintain your availability. Understanding this allows you to reclaim your boundaries, protect your emotional energy, and ensure that your care and attention are directed toward relationships where they are valued and reciprocated. By seeing these tactics for what they are, you can stop being manipulated by sweet lies and instead invest in connections that honor your worth, respect your boundaries, and nurture genuine mutual support.